reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.
Beyond.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Beyond, episode 208. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside PlayStation Team Powerhouse, Ryan Clements.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
He only does everything, Colin Moriarty. And nothing is up, Ryan. I'm sorry. Colin Campbell, if you're listening, you were supposed to be on this Beyond to just do the news with us, but Tal was talking to you, and it seemed pretty serious, and I couldn't interrupt, and Tal had that beard. There's so much beard I can be around.
Facial hair.
He's got the facial hair.
He has facial hair. Can't do anything about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful Thursday in San Francisco. There's a quarter on the desk, and Colin is happy because the Giants are no longer playing baseball.
I know.
So we can once again
God.
wander around our office. We can go to lunch, not have to be mobbed by drunkards.
We can all be happy about that.
We can be the drunkards.
Thank God.
Outside of that, though, what's going on, everybody? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm going to work on that Child of Eden review once we get out of Podcast Beyond recording.
There you go.
And just some other stuff.
Okay.
I still have some leftover stuff from Japan that I have to start doing.
Japan. Okay.
And other things.
Cool. Colin, how you doing?
I'm well.
Yeah. What have you been working on lately? What's going on?
I was away for a couple of days.
Oh, you're right. You went to the Vegas. You had a ball. I heard.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I was.
Colin doesn't like to travel. Colin doesn't like fun things.
Yeah, no, I saw some games. You can read about one of them right now.
Syndicate.
Played that bad boy for a little while. We'll talk about that, I guess, in Rope Report.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting pretty hyped for the hockey season. It's real close now.
Oh, yeah?
A week from Saturday, the Islanders' first game happens. Tomorrow night, Podcast Beyond's Fantasy Hockey League drafts.
Oh, my gosh.
We have 20 players, which is the max. I wish we could have even more, but yeah, that's the max. So that's pretty exciting.
How long does hockey season last?
It's really long. From early October through May into June, depending on with the playoffs and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Colin.
Yeah.
Next week, this time we'll be doing Podcast Beyond.
Yes.
The week after that,
yes,
we will not be doing a Podcast Beyond here.
No, we
Clements
won't.
will either be on his own or we'll just wait until later.
I can record.
All right, fine. We will be at New York Comic Con. And making
I'm coming home.
Baby boy Colin's coming back. Making that all the better is that we're doing a live Podcast Beyond panel / free. How do you say the shows?
It's free shit.
Free shit.
It is.
Have you ever seen? Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know why I clenched up on that one. But anyways.
Yeah, free shit.
IGN's favorite fake TV show, game show that you just watch and win stuff.
The game show without a game.
There you go. Yeah, free shit. Podcast Beyond free shit panel is happening at New York Comic Con Friday at 7 o'clock. You're going to win free stuff. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to come listen to me and Colin talk. Maybe we'll have some surprise guests. I haven't really looked into that yet, but we'll try. Maybe get some PlayStation bloggers up there.
Maybe I'll be wearing an Islanders jersey. I don't know.
I bet you will.
Whoa.
Maybe I will be.
Maybe I'll wear a jersey that will make New York people mad.
Like what?
I don't know.
You would have to wear like a Red Sox jersey to make anyone mad. Or a Patriots jersey.
I don't want to support that.
Then he'll get like beat up in the streets. Be careful.
I'm not giving you out firm details on this one, but there is a party the next night. Saturday, there's an IGN meet and greet where you can come out and have beverages with us and talk to Colin about New York stuff.
Yeah,
like
talk
pizza
to me.
and Subways.
Well, it's what I'm most excited about is I'm going home. I'm not going to Long Island because I won't have any time, but. My dad's gonna come in. I'm gonna have dinner with my dad, which is nice.
Oh yes.
And then because he's actually just gonna be in the city that day anyway, so it kind of works out. And he'll be on the west side where we are.
West side.
And it's gonna be nice to actually eat food that's good for once.
Here we go.
Because I'm really looking
mean
forward.
Pizza?
Yeah,
that's good?
Pizza, bagels, Szechuan Chinese food. Yeah, you can get your dirty water hot dogs and your cart food if you want. I mean, that's good stuff. Pretzels, etc.
You're going to show me around? You're going to show me some good places to eat? You're going to take me some places?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to have much time, but yeah, we can.
Yeah, well, I mean, just show, we'll walk by a pizza place and be like, that's no good. This one looks legit.
So here's the thing, is you could basically walk into any pizza place in Manhattan and it's better than any pizza here.
Okay.
Even the worst place there. And as far as bagels, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Greg. I apologize. I was focusing on this because something was going on in GarageBand.
Right.
Can you reiterate for me? Are you guys having a meet and greet specifically to just meet IGN people?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
There's an IGN meet and greet Saturday at 7:30 somewhere. I'm not telling you where. I haven't gotten the go ahead to promote.
And that's when you said there's no firm details yet.
Correct.
Okay, I see.
I'm hiding that from people at the moment.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. We're a conversational podcast. I want you to be able to interrupt and talk to me whenever.
And I have a follow-up when you guys are done with your New York CC announcements.
Okay.
I'm finished.
I think we have hit the big stuff. 7 o'clock on Friday. Come out.
Okay.
I will have. I think it's like room 123A, B, or I don't know.
Wait. I thought it's 7 o'clock on Friday.
What did I? I almost got out of that.
so
7 o'clock is the panel on Friday. 7:30 is the party on Saturday. We will be promoting this next week as well, probably with more details such as rooms.
And that's when folks from the East Coast can come and meet you and you and Colin.
Believe it or not, folks from any coast can come meet us in New York.
Right, but I mean, it would be easier for them, probably.
But if there's some kid from Idaho coming out there, he's like, "Oh shucks, man, I'm not from the East Coast.
Oh, shucks.
They're gonna want to see this, and all I've got this potato." All right, what's your?
All right. Well, can I talk about me being over there then?
Yes.
You sure can.
All right. Yes. All right. So this is super exciting for me, and also everyone. So I know y'all might be sad because you say to yourself, "Oh, I get to see the great Greg and Colin Moriarty."
Sorry, you can't come.
Yes, but they're like, "Oh, but I can't meet all 3 members of the Podcast Beyond family." But now I know you can't meet us all at the same time, but you can meet all 3 of us because word has finally been locked in.
Word has been locked in. Owl Bro has locked in the word.
Word has been locked in.
Where Owl Bro has called it in. I am going to be going to New York City for SM Town Live 2011 at Madison Square Garden. It is a massive K-pop concert, so I am going. That is the concert itself is on October 23rd, which is a Sunday. Now I'm going to be in New York City that pretty much that whole weekend, and I am absolutely going to try and find a place, and we can have like a meetup. I'm going to be with actually one other IGN person that's not an editor, but she works on our product team. And
what's her name?
Melissa. You know Melissa.
I know.
Always goes around. So if you guys want to, first of all, I guess tweet at me if you have any ideas for like places that
Pwam Cider.
Pwam Cider, PWAM Cider. Tweet at me if you have any ideas for where in basically the area around Madison Square Garden where it might be a cool place for us to meet up and have a meeting either probably Saturday night, I'm going to say. Or, you know what, technically we could just totally do it Sunday after the concert. So it's one of those 2 times we can have a meetup, and I can say hello to everyone on the East Coast.
Are you staying in a hotel? You crashing?
We're staying in a hotel.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
It's like New York to or what?
It's what? It's like New York 2.
Home Alone 2.
It's like New York 2. You know that old chestnut.
That's what little known fact. That's what they called Manhattan.
Anyway. Yeah, October 21st or 22nd, or 23rd, I guess, in that range, those few days, if you guys want to meet up, I'd love to see everybody, especially people that are also going to the concert. Because I actually know I think there's 2 IGN readers that have already told me they're also going to this concert, which I'd say is good. It's already a good number.
Yeah, that's
2.
pretty good. Yeah.
Considering it's, K-pop
IGN readers are everywhere.
infected the mainstream yet.
So there's something, so you're going to be in Madison Square Garden. There's something I want you to do for me. So
All right.
I go to Madison Square Garden, I can't talk, every once in a while, see a concert. I haven't been there in a few years. I saw Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young with my dad there a few years ago. That was the last time I was there. But that's where the Rangers play, the New York Rangers, and I hate them.
Okay.
So I want you to...
You want me to take a piss on Madison Square Garden?
Well, no, because it's a beautiful building in general, but there's going to be banners hanging in the rafters above you, and they're going to have the Knicks, and the Knicks don't win anything, so you don't have to worry about that. But then the Rangers, they have some things up there, so I just want you to kind of look up at and extend a middle finger, and I want you to take a picture behind you of doing it, so you have the 1994 Stanley Cup banner, and then your middle finger, and that would make me really happy.
I'll do that if you really want me to.
I do.
Totally will.
I do, because this is why I'm most mad about that.
Am I going to get beat up? Like, if someone sees me doing that, am I just going to get clocked over the head?
It's possible.
All right. Well, it's going to be about like 4 million screaming Asian girls at this concert.
Yeah,
so
my kind of party.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
The reason I'm mad about that is not because the Rangers won the Stanley Cup, but because, that sucked. I was bad. But because they ruined the awesome Islanders 1940 chant, which used to happen at every Ranger Islander game, because that was the last time they won a Stanley Cup before 1994. So that ruined everything for us.
What was the chant?
1940.
Oh, okay.
Just like 1918 at Yankee games, and then the Red Sox had to go and win the World Series, and that ruined that too, including my 1918 shirt, which I had to throw out. So if you would do that for me, I'd really appreciate that.
Didn't you go to school in Boston, though?
I did go to school
but you
in
don't
Boston.
have like an attachment to the sports teams in Boston, then?
No.
You can't go to school and then pick up their professional sports team.
Yeah, in fact,
if you went to school, you can cheer for their collegiate sports team.
Yeah, I was a huge Northeastern hockey fan, but
I don't know how this stuff works, Greg.
But the Yankees, I grew up a Yankees fan. I grew up in New York, and my family, more than any other sport, my family is super passionate about the Yankees. So we absolutely hate the Red Sox. And the Red Sox games are sight to behold. And I lived really close to Fenway, which is where the Red Sox play, and I used to wait online before the Yankees would come into town to get standing room tickets. You'd have to sleep outside and wait. They would release 200 of them, and then they would cost $20 a piece, and I would sell one to a scalper and then keep the other one and just go to the games and have a good time that way. And the same thing with the Patriots when the Jets would come to town. Go to those games. But no, I'm not a fan of Boston sports at all. In fact, I hate Boston sports teams more than any other sports team.
No worries. I was just curious. I
That's it.
didn't want to get you fired up or anything.
No, I'm not fired up.
All right, good.
Not yet.
Not yet. Is it about to happen?
No.
Let's get Colin fired up.
Yeah.
With what is and once was and forever will be. The Roper Report. Time for some news.
Okay.
It's the Colin Moriarty spin zone. How many are on the docket today,
There
Chief?
are 10 items.
Oh.
Are we going to do I guarantee it? And
I didn't like that much.
You didn't like it? I kind of enjoyed it.
All right, fine. We'll do it again.
Okay. Again, I didn't, so
I gotta write it down or I'll forget it.
I didn't put him in order again. I don't think I'm ever going to do that again. And the reason I kind of thought about this is, last week we just had this over encumbrance of news, and it was just too much to order.
It was a lot.
But this time it's like if we get the good news out of the way first all the time,
good news.
then
We're spreading the good
Roper
news.
Report just gets worse.
Then it just gets the stupid stuff at the end, like
Yeah, exactly. So
Street
it's just
Fighter 4's got new shoes.
It's basically just in the order that I put it in there.
Okay.
Got it. So can I expect a really good piece of news at the end?
Yeah, and this one you can.
All right, because I can also announce a giveaway at the end of the Roper Report.
Yeah,
too.
please do.
Whoa.
Please do.
Okay.
Okay, so number 1, I Am Alive, which seemed to have fallen into development hell until recently, got an ESRB rating of mature, and it's now been revealed that it's not going to be a retail game as it was originally intended. I Am Alive is set to come to PlayStation Network and XBLA this winter, though it's not clear if that means 2011 or 2012. I would say 2012 probably. Thoughts?
I guarantee it.
There you go.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Wow, you sounded that was George Zimmer or Zimmerman.
Thank you.
or
Yeah,
whatever the
well, if
guy's
you remember
name is.
last week, I kept doing it in the I doubt it voice, even when I said I guarantee it. So we're working the kinks out of this bit.
Yeah.
But
okay.
yeah.
If you don't like it though, I don't want you to have to do it. That's the
Oh,
thing.
we'll see. Maybe if I don't screw it up this much, I'll do it.
Okay,
But
sounds
this I Am Alive news, interesting. I remember seeing this game forever ago, the news of this game forever ago, and be like, oh, that sounds like a cool
We've
game.
never actually seen the game.
I'm imagining it's going to be a giant disaster.
Probably. So the thing about this game,
No, no pun intended.
this game was announced in 2006.
Yeah, there's
And-
a great video from Damon walking you through the announcements and the delays and the little bits of news. We've never seen this game.
And it has 2 different developers. It was supposed to be retail. Now it's downloadable. So I mean, yeah, it has Nightmare written all over it. It's basically, it seems like Ubisoft just wants to make some amount of money on it because they probably lost a lot of money on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got enough buzzworthiness. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is really cool. It's about surviving an earthquake, and I believe, right? And
yeah, there's a disaster. I think it's an earthquake.
and like what happens afterwards. So
Speaking of which, I had a nightmare last night.
Oh,
really?
Zombie outbreak. Usually very exciting. I don't
I
mind
love
that.
zombie dreams.
I don't mind that. But the problem was that I couldn't decide on a weapon. I had a
okay.
sledgehammer at one point, but that was too. That's a big heaving hit. I
Right,
needed something
right.
faster.
Yeah, you need something fast.
And so then I got a crowbar, which I was happy with.
Yeah.
But somebody else in the party said they had already been using a crowbar and it gets stuck in their heads or whatever. It's stuck, so that I then would be disarmed. So I settled on a shovel,
like a small hammer.
Yeah, no,
Two
that's
hammers.
that was the first one. It was a small hammer.
Dual-wielding hammers.
And the guy was coming at me, and his arms were extended, and I couldn't get a good, clean blow. So I was going to push off his chest and then hit him with the hammer.
Oh, you got bit?
But I was wearing like 2 t-shirts, 2 like long sleeve t-shirts. So it was
Plus
a
2 to
grazing
defense.
bite, and I got him then with the hammer, and I pulled back the shirt, and I had teeth imprints, but no blood, no cut on and the skin hadn't been broken. But I warned my party this had happened. I'll keep an eye on it.
I like
and
how you're with a party.
then I switched back to a shovel.
Okay.
And this is in my old house.
I would like to say that in the inevitable zombie apocalypse, I have to have some sort of projectile weapon. I don't think I have.
No way.
I know. I don't think I have the guts to do the. I mean, I'd have a melee as a backup, like an emergency failsafe. But man, I would be too scared. Like I need some distance from those zombies.
No, see, well, first off, as I always say, I'm assuming these are the slow-moving, shambling zombies,
Right.
like George Romero.
Right.
If they're booking running zombies, we're over. They've won.
Yeah.
If you have something chasing you that never gets tired, it's over.
Yeah.
So slow-moving ones, I want a baseball bat. I'd probably like the metal
aluminum
ones.
ones?
Yeah, I don't.
The aluminum bat.
Yeah, I don't want. Those seem. You can correct me here because you're into more of the baseballs, the softballs. You're always playing that slow pitch out with Mike Mitchell.
Yeah, slow pitch.
Aluminum less likely to break, right? I mean, a baseball. I always see the wooden ones break.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, you can't.
Oh, no,
I'm
you
You're not
not
going to break an aluminum bat,
Yeah,
but
so that's
aluminum
what I want.
bats are like way too powerful too. I mean, for baseball, but
Yeah, but
that's
for
why
zombies,
they're not
that's
even
what I
legal in
want.
MLB.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, well, you get that really satisfying. Remember playing Little League and you get that satisfying ding?
Yeah. Yeah.
as you hit the ball, which
Yeah.
is nice. The crack is nice too, but you're not going to get the crack over a zombie skull, I don't think.
Yeah.
Unless it's coming at you at 100 miles
I
an
mean,
hour.
I'm thinking.
What kind of
that-
projectile do you want?
I mean, I'm thinking of a pistol, and I would.
Have you ever shot a pistol?
Well, I've shot an automatic pistol, yes.
Okay.
And I know, so I'm thinking single shot pistol with a silencer on it. The
There you
problem is that the silencer apparently requires incredible amounts of maintenance, and there's the possibility it could break. And
See, that's my whole thing. Is like I don't think I'd have the accuracy. I don't think I'd have enough ammo, and I don't think I'd have the talent. You know what I mean? Like,
ammo would be well. That's why you have the melee weapon as the backup.
Mm-hmm.
But the as long as you have like a fair amount of ammo, this is the kind of situation where if you need to get to a certain point and there's like a few zombies, you take them out and then you run, and then hopefully you don't have to spend any more
but
ammo.
if they're slow moving, hopefully you can just walk around them.
Right. Well, that's true. I guess. By the way, I was still working on World War Z, reading that a little bit every night. And did you read the whole thing?
Yes.
I don't want to spoil much. It's not really a book you kind of like spoil.
Correct,
I guess.
yeah, it's just accounts
But
of just-
I got to the part where you get the two accounts from the two Japanese, who eventually became like warrior monks.
Uh-huh.
That was amazing. One of them is blind and uses a shovel to kill zombies, and it's totally rad. It's like samurai zombie killer.
Colin, what would you want? What kind of weapon to use in the zombie
A
apocalypse?
boomerang.
A boomer. That's
Nice. That's hardcore.
That's
I don't know
totally
about that.
not practical.
It would require years of training to throw a boomerang.
What
like
I would
that.
want is the Casey Jones style golf bag full of cricket bats and golf clubs
That
and
is
baseball
awesome.
bats. A Jose
That is awesome.
Canseco bat. I would like a variety of weapons in case one breaks.
Yeah, see, that is, you gotta worry about breaking stuff.
Yeah, maybe firearms I don't feel like maybe are practical. They
Yeah.
worked really well in Dead Nation, of course.
Yeah. A great game with some DLC this week.
But as soon as you get into melee, my argument is you are in so much danger of getting grabbed, like at that range. You
You
know?
gotta get close, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But they're so slow.
yeah, they're so slow.
But they have little bursts.
Think
don't they?
about like how much strength it would take to break open a human skull with a weapon.
But
I mean,
a decomposing skull.
decomposing skull. I get no. Well, the bone wouldn't have decomposed that much. The flesh would have.
Yeah.
But the
But I
bone
mean, like,
takes a really long time to get weaker.
I mean, but
I'm assuming. I'm actually not a doctor. I don't know. If
I
you
don't
know
think
that.
it would be as hard as you think it is, because think you're swinging for your life, and this is I mean, like it's not like you're against somebody in a fight where you're just trying to get them off you. This is like you're trying to knock this dude's head off every time.
Right. Yeah,
There's
but
no-
that's exhausting. I mean,
Adrenaline.
Yeah, the adrenaline helps, but I mean, the exhaustion always.
But I
kicks
mean,
in.
again, I'm not fighting every zombie I see.
Right,
I'm
right.
just trying to get by. There's
Yeah.
no experience points. This isn't Dead Island.
What's your eventual goal? Are you just trying to get to a safe zone or like
I
a
don't really
building?
know. I guess I don't
Just
know.
wandering?
I mean, like I always go for the hole up plan. I would always want to hole up somewhere, because if they're slow moving zombies, we're eventually gonna win. We're gonna overcome them.
You think so?
Yeah, totally. Slow moving zombies. I mean, especially because video games and movies and comics, they always get it wrong that there is like this unlimited amount of zombies. Like there'd totally be a limited amount of zombies. You'd be able to overcome them. You know what I mean? Especially if everybody just got it together, they have to fight.
I don't know. What if it? I mean, you never know that an infection might spread and eventually just hit everybody. I mean,
I still think we'd have a chance.
I think we have a chance, but I just don't think it's like a surefire victory. You know,
Yeah.
we could come very.
Well, I'm
close
not
to
saying it's
extinction.
easy.
Yeah.
All right.
This
All right, what's item number 2
This
on
is
the
my, this is my favorite
easy.
part of podcast. Beyond.
PlayStation podcast?
Zombie talk.
The number 1 PlayStation podcast on the internet, by the way.
Number 2, Syndicate, a reimagining of the classic Bullfrog Studios PC games,
The other weapon I would use for the zombies.
being crafted by Starbreeze Studios, has a release date. It's set to come out on February 21st of 2012.
Yeah, buddy. Can anyone clarify for me if
I guarantee it.
Oh, nice. Is this a remake of like some old game?
Yes.
Okay. Can
Colin
you
will
tell me about it?
Colin will clarify the hell out of it. He wrote the preview. Tell me
Yeah,
about it.
I
Colin.
played it.
All right.
All right. So Syndicate is, and Syndicate are not games that I have experience with. They were PC centric. They were ported to the console and stuff, but they weren't supposed to be very good. Syndicate is like an isometric, like third person game, like based in the future in like the 2060s, where corporations kind of become really powerful and they like feud and fight with each other. And Eurocorp is like the main corporation.
That's racist.
And so.
Good day, Governor. Yeah, okay.
So,
Eurocorp.
so that's an Australian accent.
No, I was trying to do British, but
So anyway,
Pop, pop.
Peter Molyneux had something. His studios are the guy. Those are the guys that did Populous and the theme park games and stuff. I mean, very good pedigree for and they made these games. And so the games have been dead. I mean, for 15 years they haven't released anything about Syndicate and Starbreeze, which is the European studio that did the Darkness and the Riddick games. Pretty good pedigree of their own.
Yeah, for sure.
is now making this into a first-person shooter. So it's not the Syndicate that everyone remembers from when they were kids, or from maybe you were an adult in the 1990s.
Old.
But yeah, so it's really cool. It's an experience. It's not really a shooter. It's not a guns blazing shooter. It's I played it for about a half an hour. And I was really impressed with what I played. I was like really impressed with it. And I know Anthony was too when we played it.
Anthony loved it, apparently.
Yeah, and it's cool. So like you run into a room. You have a chip implanted in your head that lets you do something called breaching, which is like you can control electronics on the wall, whatever. But you can also kind of deal with the enemies around you. So you can run into a room and like just shoot them, and that works. Or you can like use your suicide skill, which and aim it at someone, and that guy like turns his gun on himself and kills himself.
Oh, jeez.
Or you can use a skill to make the enemies turn their guns on each other. Or make their guns explode in their hands and stuff like that. So it's really, really, really cool. So there's like inherent replay value, even though it's like a somewhat of a linear game. You can go through it in different ways, and there's a cool skill tree that can't be. This is what I like the most, is that there's a skill tree, and it's really like elaborate, but you cannot fill it up in one playthrough, which means
Nice.
that
I love stuff like that.
there's different ways to play through the game.
And you get experience with kills and stuff?
Yeah, I guess that wasn't really.
Or with
Yeah,
missions,
yeah.
or?
I think there is. Yeah, because I did upgrade my character once.
All right, yeah.
And there's also a kind of I called it. I mean, it's Mega Man-esque in that you're going after this guy in a competing company's headquarters during my mission, and you catch up with him eventually, and you shove something in his head to kill him or whatever. But you end up taking like his chip, and you get the skill from his chip or whatever. So like your character becomes stronger and stronger. The game's really cool.
It's like Mega Man, it's like Mega Man for the new generation.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the only part about it that's like Mega Man.
Now,
Whatever.
a lot of people, I think even in your own preview, you mentioned it too. This sounds a little bit like Deus Ex.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the
Deus
game.
Ex.
Deus Ex.
Should be
Deus
pronounced,
Ex,
by the way.
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's very reminiscent. It's very sterile but futuristic, and corporations and like kind of extra governmental affairs going on, as it were. But yeah, I mean, I think that people are going to draw those parallels. I think that the Syndicate name might not have as much pull and push as it did at one time, but EA has owned this name for a long time, so it makes sense that they were going to reimagine it. And they also were very facetious, as I wrote my preview about, saying it's their best kept secret, which they were kidding because people knew that a Syndicate game was coming. But what I said in my preview was that I don't think anyone expected that it was going to be a first person shooter of what appears to be a very high caliber. So
it's kind of similar to Prey with Bethesda. Like
Exactly.
Prey 2 came out and everybody's like, this doesn't look anything like Prey. What the and they were excited. They were happy.
Mm-hmm.
I will also say you failed to mention the most important part, featuring music by Skrillex.
Yeah. The
What's up, bro?
The trailer is awesome.
Yeah, the trailer has an awesome cut over it.
I love like Skrillex is my exposure to dubstep music is pretty limited, but
Damon
Skrillex
Hatfield,
is still
that's
my
all you know.
favorite. Yeah, I only know Damon. But yeah, Skrillex is awesome.
So yeah, that's a game to keep an eye out on, and it's really cool that they got so far in development without anyone having seen the game.
Yeah,
the game's only 4 months away, so
That's crazy. That's the crazy part of it all.
So I'm very excited about that game, and there's reason to be excited about it. If the entire game is as good as what I played, there's reason to be excited.
Is this a single player only kind of thing then, or?
Yeah, I don't know if they talked about that, to be honest. What else? Okay, number 3. The 2D fighting game Skullgirls, which you're excited about that game, right?
Yes.
Has been delayed.
Got a little pushback.
And will now drop in early 2012.
No problem.
You'll be able to purchase it on PlayStation Network and XBLA for an undetermined sum.
No problem. That's the classic example of me saying, I want a good game, you take your time.
I doubt it.
I got plenty of...
I
well, I don't care what you think about this particular topic, because this is important to me.
That's why there's 3 of us.
Yes.
There's not just one.
Right. Well, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
New York 2.
The movie New York 2. Number 4.
You all knew what I was talking about.
Shank 2 has been announced. A follow-up to last year's downloadable action-packed 2D side-scroller, Shank 2 is set to come to PlayStation Network and XBLA in 2012. You played Shank 2.
Yes.
It was also at the event that I was at.
Yes.
But you'd already seen it and wrote about it.
Did you get a chance to play it, or you probably had other stuff to do?
Yeah, I had other games to play.
I talk about it. I actually talked about it yesterday on Unlocked, but
Don't listen to that show.
All right, don't just don't listen to it.
No, you can go listen to that,
Straight
everybody.
up. No, it's fine. Actually, a lot of Beyond. The only reason we have a lot of our listeners is because Beyond listeners came over to support us, which I appreciate.
Thank you, listeners.
But no, Shank 2 is awesome. By the way, I mean, you guys. Even if this isn't, I doubt it.
No,
from,
this isn't. I
Greg,
guarantee it.
Colin and I were discussing, and Colin was one of the people that appreciated the animation, right? In
Yeah,
the original one,
the game looked great. I didn't think it was that fun.
Not feeling the combat,
No.
and the studio just completely redid it, and I think it felt great. I mean, it's just classic, like kind of shooting, like basic shooting, but with a ton of different cool skill-based combos you can do, and there's a counter system in it. So if like someone's about to stab you, you like can grab their arm and like stab them in the throat, and then like throw them into a barrel. That's the example I always use. Yeah, no barrel rolls, but throwing into barrels you can do. And it's really cool. Looks amazing.
Yeah,
plays really well.
The game's pretty.
And the multiplayer is really cool because it's basically just survival in a 2D shooting platformer where you can like buy upgrades and like set up turrets and stuff to survive. It's really fun. Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I bought Shank when it was discounted, when they had a mass like 10 game discount thing, and I spent like $50. And I played it, and I liked the style of it. I wasn't really riveted by the gameplay. What I really liked the most about Shank is the story behind it, about how that studio risked everything to make that game, and it paid off for them. So
yeah,
it's like a super risk reward. And he talked about the CEO or the creator.
I got a chance to meet both of them, and they're really cool guys.
They were talking about when I was in Las Vegas about the huge risk they took and how it worked for them. So here's the sequel, whatever, and that's cool. And I'm gonna give it a chance because the game looks so cool, and you're gonna dig it. I love old school side-scrolling games like that.
Oh, dude, you'll dig it. It feels really good. Like when I was playing. See, I'm more than happy to admit I did not play the original, not for lack of interest, just for lack of time, and So when I picked up Shank 2, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! I should go back and play the original one." And then they were like, "Well, well, they didn't tell me not to, but they were like, a lot of people complained about the controls, and everybody says this is really responsive, and they've had a lot of good feedback so far."
I remember the controls. I mean, I didn't finish the game because I didn't like the way the game felt, but I'll give this one a chance. That happens.
It feels great. And you got to keep in mind that the original Shank was only that particular studio's second game, I believe, and the first game was probably something very simple, just kind of like a trial by fire sort of deal.
Yeah, they did say the original Shank sold in its first day more copies than its first game sold ever. So
there you go.
Number 5. This is the longest one, but also I think a really interesting one for me. Maybe not for you, Clemens.
Is it about zombies?
No, it's not.
Trophies. It's about trophies.
Uncharted 3's trophies have been revealed and look to be pretty much identical to Uncharted 2 Among Thieves roster.
Which was identical to Uncharted 1.
Indeed. They include finding treasures, beating the game on all difficulties, and scoring against a certain amount of kills with all the weapons. There are only 2 multiplayer trophies yet again, which is awesome. One for completing a solo competitive and cooperative game. There are a few standouts, however, that I thought I would read out.
Oh, okay.
Let's do it.
Combat Leapfrog, a silver. Asks you to defeat 10 enemies in a row while alternating deaths between hand-to-hand combat and firearms.
Ooh,
that's a cool one.
Rolling Ammo Master, another silver, requires you to pick up 20 ammo drops in a row while rolling over them.
Nice.
And Ride the Crocodile, a bronze, asks you to stand on the crocodile in the secret library, whatever that means. So there are a few specific ones, like examine all the cases in the museum, that kind of thing.
What are you doing this afternoon?
Got to write some stuff.
You got to write this. This is interesting.
What do you mean?
The three trophies that made us go, oh,
what?
I would like to note to you guys that I don't dislike. I mean, I'll still listen to. It's cool. Like I like hearing about that stuff. So I won't hate on the trophies.
Hate.
I've been thinking about this recently. Now that I've been officially brought back into the PlayStation team, and I've been trying to play more PlayStation games. I'm kind of like tempted to not really hunt for trophies as the professionals like you guys do, but maybe try and go a little bit out of my way to get some.
I don't see why not.
The thing is that now I'm so far behind at this point. I almost feel like I would never even get close. I don't know, probably the same as when you checked it last time.
I think it's 10.
Yeah, I'm probably
that's
only.
not bad.
That's pretty bad.
What's next?
Compared to you guys.
Better than most IGN people.
Number 6. This will concern Clemens. Journey. The much anticipated new PSN exclusive from that game company has been delayed and won't come out till 2012. Now, I am Andrew, who's our new news contractor or whatever about this, and I had him talk to you. What's the story behind this? Because I didn't think that they ever put a date on the game.
And that's the thing. They never did. I think the only thing I had ever heard now, and this was so I wrote up like one of our little basics pages where I just discussed some of the basics of the game, and. At the end, I explicitly state in my own article it's scheduled for some point later this year.
Gotcha.
Now, so that must mean that at some point I was told by either PR or by the team, including Genova, because I've spoken to him a couple times. He's one of the leads in that game company.
Genova Chen.
Genova Chen, great guy, really really nice guy.
Monster.
He's a monster. At some point they must have said that it was this year, but they never gave a date. And honestly, like them pushing it back a little bit, I wouldn't have even qualified it as a delay because it's sort of they never firmed up a date anyway.
Yeah, that's the way I felt about
It
that
feels
too.
like a game that would have gotten totally lost too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have been totally overshadowed by all the stuff coming out this year.
That's something where anyone that wants to try something a little different and maybe dug either Flow or Flower, keep that on your radar. That game is easily looks like one of their best.
What I'm most interested in is this is their last game to fulfill their contract with Sony, so I wonder what's going to happen
Do
to
they
them.
go multi-platform?
Yeah, if they go
They
multi-platform
probably
or they get gobbled up.
You think Sony buys them?
I think Sony's going to try. But that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But I am interested in that.
If
Because that's a huge get for Sony.
If there's one company that when they buy other companies, it doesn't make me nervous, it's when Sony buys a company. Because I mean, maybe it's just my limited exposure to like the people that work for Sony, but it seems like they mainly just let them do their thing, and it just so happens that they're only making games for that platform.
Yeah, I think it's just an autonomous. They let the creators create. I think that's look at what Naughty Dog and Sucker Punch and those guys do. But I did write a story about the 15 first parties that Sony does own, and then we did a hypothetical piece, or I did about the 10 studios I wanted them to buy. That game company was one of them, and Housemarque is really the other one I really want them to buy because they're already losing Housemarque. Because Housemarque's doing iOS games, and then Outland came out to Xbox. So I mean, that would be it's on one hand, it's great that everyone can play these games no matter what they have.
Right.
But on the other hand, it weakens Sony's stables of exclusives. So whatever. It's a double-edged sword, as they say.
Yes.
Number 7, Yoichi Wada, Square Enix CEO.
Great name.
Yeah.
Recently said some interesting stuff about the Final Fantasy franchise
Yeah.
and Final Fantasy 14 in particular at a Tokyo press conference, noting that the game had, quote, greatly damaged the Final Fantasy brand. Apparently, this man never played 10, 12, or 13. He talks to basically remaking the entire game that better fit with the original vision of the title, which was supposed to come to PlayStation 3 already, but still hasn't. So,
Colin, quick side note: not everyone hates 10 and 12 as much as you do.
I know. I say it, and then I look at you because I know. We have this. So I think this is interesting. That's not so much. I mean, obviously, Final Fantasy 14 was a fucking disaster. I think everyone knows that.
It was.
But what's interesting is that they're not abandoning it, but remaking it. And making it better. And, I want to see how the game runs on PlayStation 3. We probably won't get it
anytime soon
until 2014. I can't imagine.
Did he say they are remaking it or they're thinking about it?
No, I think I don't have the exact quote here, but it was something about they want to remake the game into the vision of what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because it's totally botched. And it's still free to play, right? Like they're not charging anyone for it.
I don't even know.
I think you buy it and you just play it. Like I don't think they had like a schedule.
There's no monthly.
They had a schedule, in which they were gonna like introduce. Like at first the game was like totally broken, so they're like just keep playing it for free, and at this point everyone will pay for it, and then they're just like no, just don't even pay for it.
That's the kind of thing where they might just have too much pride and they don't want to completely abandon the project, and maybe they're trying again.
Yeah, and 11 was successful. I mean, I didn't play 11, but I know 11 was successful.
11 was around for a long time.
I think people still play it. Actually.
Yeah, I mean. I remember when it first came. Oh, sorry.
No, please.
When it first came out, I was actually in college. I remember I was in my freshman or sophomore year of college when 11 hit, and I remember seeing the dude that had a really good gaming PC in the hallway of my dorm, and I would come in and watch him play a little bit, and I was like, this is one of those kind of games where it would be cool to have a PC to play. Which, by the way, quick update: I'm finally going to start saving up for a gaming PC for sometime next year, so I can play Diablo.
Cool. Diablo's coming to console though too.
Well, they said they were thinking about it.
No, it's not confirmed.
No,
that'd be disappointing.
They basically were like, we think Diablo is like one type of Blizzard game where you could actually put it on a controller and it would be good. But that is literally all they said.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll play Ruin instead.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I'm sure they'll be equivalent.
Exactly.
No.
I think from what I read actually that your save and Ruin will carry over to the PC version of Diablo.
Yeah, there you go.
That's huge.
Sarcasm.
Number 8. Has the setting and enemies of Dead Space 3 been revealed? According to Silicon Era, Dead Space 3 begins with series protagonist Isaac crash landing on an icy planet known as Tau Volantis during a huge blizzard. Thinking he's the only survivor of the crash, Isaac stumbles into a nearby way station, which is abandoned, and thus the game begins.
That sounds cool.
Dude,
yeah, it sounds awesome.
That guy has a fucked up life.
I would murder myself long ago.
When is Isaac just gonna get a chance to chill?
One game is just him on a resort planet, hanging out.
On a resort planet. And that should totally be DLC. There should be minigame DLC where you just get to take Isaac on a vacation.
Him getting it on.
I would absolutely just bang it out with Isaac Clarke.
Jesus.
No, wait, hold on. Not me personally. I would control him as he was banging it.
You go after the one-eyed lady
on a resort planet.
Yeah.
Well, a one-eyed lady.
Yeah, that's a reference if you played Dead Space 2.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know.
Okay. Don't worry, everybody move on. But yeah, if you've played Dead Space, you know what I'm talking
I thought
about. You'd
we were
like to have
talking
sex
about-
with that one-eyed lady too,
I
wouldn't
thought
you?
we were talking about Leela from Futurama.
That's me high-fiving the fans here.
Nice.
Okay.
I liked it.
Isn't that character voiced by Peggy Bundy?
Yes.
Leela?
Katie
Yeah.
Seagal.
Katie Seagal, yeah. Number 9, Dead Island has nudity.
Okay.
A new YouTube video has revealed that Xian,
Sure.
I don't know. One of the game's 4 playable characters,
Yeah.
the knives chick,
Yeah, she
isn't,
wears the white shirt, red dress. She's in a lot of imagery.
isn't
Red
wearing
skirt.
underwear underneath her skirt.
Now, was this ever confirmed, or is this just like some graphical glitch where it kind of looked like
There's
nudity,
no
but it
graphical
wasn't?
glitch. I mean, I don't know. We were trying to follow up Andrew wrote this, right? He
Yeah,
was trying to follow up if it was a mod or whatever, but it seems pretty legit that it's just a vagina.
Yes. The game already has an ESRB rating of mature, but is now under risk of reclassification due to the newly discovered lower body nudity, which it wouldn't be able to have a mature.
Get the AOs.
Yeah, we get an A, and then it wouldn't be able to be sold.
See, why would the studio not disclose something like that? That's the thing, though. They have to tell the
I don't
SRB
know.
all that
That's why,
stuff.
and that's yeah.
That's
Look
why.
at
that's
Hot
why
Coffee,
I'm-
dude. I mean, that was in there. They knew that was in there. So, I mean, they just released it anyway.
But
so.
this is different, right? I mean, like this is visible. Like whereas Hot Coffee, you needed to
That's
go
a
through
mod,
the code and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Hot Coffee's not a mod. It's in the game.
Right, but you couldn't normally access it without some sort of hacking
That's true.
technique. Some sort of
All
like,
of these have been guarantees it, by the way.
Okay, good.
Alright.
Number 10, this is the final one. Rage on PlayStation 3 has a staggering 8 gig installation.
I guarantee it.
It's easy to complain about this until you realize the game is on 3 discs on Xbox 360. LOL.
Well, I agree with that part. Though we're not really allowed to talk about our experiences with Rage, correct?
No.
All right.
I
Was I even allowed to say that?
don't think that's a problem.
There's a video on IGN with Rage in the background, like at the start screen. So
Okay.
we have Rage. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, people on my friends list know what's going on.
Okay. By the way, Colin, have you noticed that I've been logged into PSN
I have noticed.
a lot?
I have
recently?
noticed. I have
Right.
noticed.
What are you playing? Oh
Very
yeah,
good.
I know what you're playing.
Yeah.
That review's going up soon.
Yeah.
And then, like we did last week, we introduced a new segment. Not really a segment. It's kind of a way to balance out the Roper Report with 5 stories on IGN right now that you guys should check out.
Oh yeah. I like this.
So the first one is the Kevin Butler ad and the Rewind Theater
Theater.
dissection. Now, Greg, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
The astute readers know, and viewers, I should say, that on Monday, the Kevin Butler there on the tweeters, he tweets out this video to like a 50-second PlayStation live action ad that at first is just teasing something coming on October 5th. And when you go through and watch the ad and break it down like we did in our Rewind Theater of Kevin Butler's odd ad, I believe we called it, there's a whole bunch of PlayStation references in there. Killzone / Chimeran Eyes in the background, Sweet Tooth's van, some Little Big Planet score bubbles, Parappa the Rapper, a whole bunch of weapons from like Ratchet and Clank, Killzone. A lot of people said Final Fantasy for the sword that I wasn't 100% sure of. So we're trying to figure out what exactly that means. Is it going to be just a dumb ad? Like in the Rewind Theater, I'm talking to Jack. Jack and me went through it. I said that in my heart of hearts, I hope that they're going to announce the North American Vita release date. But I bet it's just more marketing stuff. Where will it fall? Somewhere in the middle, Colin? What's going to happen?
I don't know. I mean, to me, like, all right, so there's weird stuff in just like, all right, Killzone, I get Resistance, I get all that stuff, but Parappa the Rapper. It's like, that's the one that really gave me pause, because first of all, I love Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah.
The PSX game was awesome.
Punch, it's all in the mind.
And then in the PS2 version, he came back and he said, kick, punch, you all remember. Chop, chop, back again, yes, forever.
Yes.
And I absolutely adore those games, and I have no idea why they're not doing anything with them.
Jammer Lemmy.
Yeah, No Jammer Lammy was awesome too. That game was awesome. So that gave me pause. It's like, what the hell is this? So yeah, that kind of led me to believe that it's the marketing thing, but I can also believe that it could be these games are all going to be on Vita.
I mean, that would be sick if that was what this was.
And keep in mind, at the end, they do the PlayStation logo and the PSN logo, and then God of War, and then Kratos' face flashes. So it's one of those, is it connected to PSN? Is it some kind of sale? Is it some kind of marketing? I don't, what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
what if it's the announcement that they're going to like release like a huge burst of PS1 or PS2 titles onto the PlayStation Network?
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that
Okay.
could be it. I mean, I thought maybe what I really thought first was that is this a hint that PS2 games are coming? But
Yeah.
that wouldn't make any sense with Resistance or Little Big Planet.
Right.
Killzone obviously was on PS2.
Oh,
Parappa the
yeah.
Rapper 2 was on PS2.
I mean, they could just be blowing out their online store front.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as what all's in there.
yeah, I mean, I think that's like one of the major theories is that this is a PlayStation Store redesign.
Some people were pushing that's somehow PlayStation Home related.
Yeah,
because
God.
guys check their
That would be
weapons,
so
then
sad.
go into like this pub or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's like the worst case scenario. So
We're rebuilding home.
That's already happening. We already know that.
Yeah, there's that's coming out that's that. So check those out. Those are on the site. IGN AU, our Australian team, put up a rant.
It's me, Tristan.
Inverted versus normal controls, which I love. As someone who plays inverted and gets made fun of all the time, this was a nice vindication for me because playing inverted makes sense. Playing normal doesn't make any sense.
Wait, can you say again?
So it's a rant about how inverted controls are the normal controls,
okay.
and anyone and if you don't understand that, then you don't understand how the human body works. Basically, it was very funny and very very well done. Very very good video. So check that out. If depending on when you're listening to this, starting at noon, so like I don't know, 30 minutes from now.
So it's already happening.
Yeah,
it's already happening.
The 24 hours Dark Soul Marathon starts at noon on Thursday today, depending on when you're
Pacific
listening to this.
Standard Time.
Exactly. So if you're one of our early listeners, you can still check this out. I assume we're going to record it and you'll be able to watch it later.
Broken up, put up there.
So that'll be cool. Keza from our IGN UK team is here to play it.
I thought it was Pip Pip. I like it. The what?
I don't know, rubies. I don't know.
I like it. The rubies. We have 5 awesome videos, or they'll be up by the end of the week. Resistance 3 multiplayer loadout videos directly from Insomniac. The guys that made the game each break down their multiplayer loadout. Really cool. I'll tell you right now, the best one is Marcus Smiths, who was on our Resistance 3.
That hack?
He was on our Resistance 3 spoiler cast. He's obviously the director of Resistance. I showed Clemente the videos.
I was cracking
The video's
up.
fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
That goes up tomorrow.
Would you recommend it?
So check that out. That's really funny. And I'm gonna. This is non-PlayStation news, but I know we have a lot of old school Nintendo fans here, and people that are anxious to dust their Wii off and play something on it. Zelda Skyward Sword is coming out soon. We have a new preview. Rich has played the game. He has new preview and video coverage of it, so you can check that out on IGN Wii. That will bring out Wii with a bang, as it were. And we'll get to play that in a couple months.
It'll be the last big game on the Wii.
Yes, it will, and the only big game coming up. So that's that. Oh, real quick, should we get this letter out the way?
Yes, you should.
I think we should, so I don't forget. So a couple weeks ago, we got this email from Mauricio Cuervo.
It's a cool name.
And So he works at a charter school. I love charter schools. He works at a charter school called Academy for Positive Learning. It's in Florida, Lake Worth, Florida. And it just so happens he volunteers there.
Okay.
And the middle school students that he works with listen to Podcast Beyond. And they talk about us or whatever. And so they kind of started listening to it, I guess,
Good
collectively.
thing the middle schoolers are doing this and all the horrible things we've said.
I know. So we have a lot of middle school. He says, he wrote a pretty long email, but he says we have a lot of middle school students who listen to your podcast every week. While I go to to the school to volunteer to help, I hear the middle schoolers talk about Greg, Colin, and the rest of the Beyond crew, Clements, all those guys. So all of us decided to make an email to you guys. They'll give us a shout out, and our great principal Renetta Espinoza. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right.
That sounds about right.
He said I showed her the podcast one day and it inspired them to make their own podcast. And thank you for the inspiration of that. So that's cool. He also sent in a question for the Resistance 3 spoiler cast, which I'm sorry I missed. It's a good question too. So we wanted to give them a shout out. And they wanted to know one question in particular, which I think Clements would probably be best equipped to
Hope
answer.
I can come through. I'm on the line.
He wants to know. Or the principal wants to know, what equipment do you use to record the podcast? Do you have any insight into that? Because obviously Clements is the one who kind of engineers the podcast. Greg and I just talk a lot.
Not, so we were really lucky and fortunate enough that once the One Up crew came on, as you guys know, we
bought them.
Once we purchased One Up.
Do you hear me, Tina? Where's my coffee?
Jeez.
Scooter! I expect my shoes shine. R-dubs, you're cool.
All right. R-dubs. So we have, I don't even know the equipment type.
Here's the basics of it that I see whenever anybody starts a podcast, right? They have the soundboard, which is that little mix board over there. We have this mixer board. And I know I'm not probably using the right terms here. But you get these mixer boards, these soundboards, and then nice mics that plug into the mixer board.
Yeah, and then we have a nice Apple laptop as well.
We have hold on.
Oh, he's looking at stuff.
We have a DBX Headamp 6 as the mixer that kind of controls a lot of. I think that does some of the real time compression and audio mixing. And then the soundboard, and then it goes to all our hanging mics, and it all kind of flows into just a basic GarageBand setup on a Mac laptop.
If memory serves me correctly,
yes,
the good folks over at Rebel FM IGN's Anthony Gallegos and former IGNer Arthur Gies.
Yes.
They've broken down before with photos somewhere on their site, I think, that what
Eat,
they
Sleep,
use.
Play?
Yeah, what they
Or no,
use.
wait, that's the studio.
Yeah.
It's Eat Sleep Game, I think.
Oh, okay.
Sure. And then, so you could Google around for that. Keep in mind, though, I mean, you can use whatever you want. Me and Damon have podcasted many a time on just a laptop running Audacity, recording with SingStar mics. Like, it's not the best quality, but it's not terrible. And then how many times have you heard us? The whole Shuhei interview was done out of one microphone, one voice recorder in the middle of the table. And if we wanted to make that better with mics and split things, we could have. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is that you don't need this. We have thousands of dollars of equipment here. You don't need that. If you guys are going to start small. So yeah, Mauricio, that's our answer for you. Academy for Positive Learning. Glad you guys enjoy the podcast. Study hard. Do your thing.
Do you think that the Academy of Positive Learning is just a front for like a mutant training school?
I hope so.
Like they all have superpowers and they're I think that's what's happening.
I wanted to page through it. Thank you.
So yeah, that's that. Thanks for writing in. Sorry we missed your shout out last week. Keep listening to the podcast.
Colin?
And yes,
Mauricio and his kids love games.
they do.
But we keep talking about stuff like Uncharted and Rage, and these games aren't out yet. If they wanted to go to the Academy for awesome games that are out at the moment, where could they go?
They can go to the official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all 3 platforms by the IGN editors.
It's the Academy of Awesome Games.
Mauricio approves.
Jeez. Okay. Pretty big week.
Huge week.
Nothing on PS2.
What the? God, why do I hold on to it?
PSP has FIFA 12.
Go.
And then the games on PS3. Atelier Totori, The Adventure of Arland comes
Yeah,
out.
what's up?
FIFA 12. Eco and Shadow of the Colossus Collection. Pro Evolution Soccer 2012. Some might call it Pro Evo. Child of Eden finally comes out.
Yay.
Yeah.
And you can play that with Move and DualShock, right?
And how are you
Correct.
enjoying it?
Yeah.
How are the trophies? Is it the
Well,
easy
I
platinum?
got so well. I don't know how easy the platinum is. I didn't check the platinum yet.
Can I
Or,
just
sorry, I
wave my
didn't-
hand at the screen to get all the trophies?
No, but I did. I mean, it doesn't take long to beat that game. I mean, probably only a few hours, and I got 20% of the trophies already, just from the absolute most basic interaction
Not even-
with
yeah,
the.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, all right, so we haven't been paying much attention to the scores lately. Atelier Totori is going to be reviewed by a freelancer.
We hope so, yeah.
Okay.
Vince,
And
you keep
there-
asking me what's the next assignment. I keep forgetting how to pronounce this game. That's what your next assignment is.
And-
Totori, and that.
Are we getting that soon?
Yeah,
What's going on?
they're supposed to be sending me retail copies for our freelancer.
And then FIFA 12, we gave it 9.5. People love that game if you're into soccer or football, depending on where you are.
Football.
Eco and Shadow of the Colossus Collection, Ryan Clements gave that an 8.5.
Criminally underscored.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a good. That's also a good buy as well.
Pro Evolution Soccer, I don't know what that got. Child of Eden, we don't know what that's going to get yet. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Trilogy, I believe, got a 6.
Ooh, somewhere in there, yes.
Not supposed to be.
Not a ringing endorsement.
Yeah.
From new editor Stephen Hopper.
And Cabela's Big Game Hunter 2012. I don't think we're going to review that
Probably
probably. X-Men Destiny, the review is currently underway.
And I'll give you a spoiler alert from Greg's preview. It's a turd. You don't. No,
Really?
You're not going to enjoy that.
That's disappointing.
I mean, I don't know what it's going to get. It's not. I doubt. I mean, I doubt it. If I was reviewing it based on the 15, 30 minutes I've played of it, I wouldn't give it like 3.5 or anything. I'm not. It's not bad. It's not going the best, but it's just not like.
How are the trophies?
I have no idea. I haven't played Retail Trophy.
There's
gotta
not even, there's not even any time
I gotta
to
go
ask that
back
question.
and play some of those bad games just for kicks.
I got mine-
Like, I've never played Rogue Warrior. I still need to go back and play Rogue Warrior.
Oh, that was so infuriating because I beat Rogue Warrior on hard and the
Trophies don't
and the
stack.
trophies don't
Don't
stack.
stack.
You have to beat the game on normal and
But
easy.
you can get through normal and easy in an hour and a half.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not playing that garbage again.
Whatever.
What else was I gonna say? I'll do maybe my giveaway at the end.
I have a giveaway as well, so let's collaborate.
You want to staggerate?
Yeah.
Collaborate
Or should-
and listen.
or should
Beyond's
we-
back with the brand new
or should we do-
invention
you know what?
giveaways.
I'm sorry, I interrupted your song. You don't have anything else though, do you? Any other lyrics? Keep going.
Free stuff's fun. Don't you like free stuff, Marcus?
Mauricio approves.
You know, to split it up, actually, I'll do my giveaway now.
Okay.
So I'm still sitting on this Persona 2 code for
Oh, that's
PSN.
right. That's right.
Now this is a $40 code. It's probably the most valuable code I've ever gotten
Yeah.
in my entire life.
Oh my gosh.
And I want to give it away, but I just don't know how to do it. So this is what I'm going to do. I want new. You guys were talking about World War Z, which actually I wasn't a fan of. And what I want,
Ooh, why weren't you a fan, by the way? Can you summarize?
I mean, in the long run, I wasn't either. I got really bored with it.
yeah, I think there's not like a narrative. It's not.
Yeah, it is. It is disjointed.
Yeah, like I wasn't into it, but I understand why people like it, and that's cool. And it's well written. That's what's most important, I guess. But what I want is new post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic scenario fiction. Now, I've been recommending people books. Like, I really liked Empire, which is what Shadow Complex is based on, and I really liked The Last Babylon, which was a book written in the 50s about nuclear war, and that was a really good book. And there are a bunch of other ones. So what I want is people to send emails to beyond@ign.com recommending me a good post-apocalyptic book that I haven't talked about on the show yet. Something that's, so it's not The Road or something like that. Like, I want something, and by the way, if it's anything like The Road, recommend it. But I want something like that. I want someone to recommend. The person who recommends me, not necessarily the first person. I want you to send your emails in. I'm going to kind of look into the books and see what's what.
So your selection will be the winner, basically.
Right. Basically, the book I end up buying, the first person to recommend that book will get a $40 instant code for Persona 2. They can buy it, put it on their PSP. It'll be totally free. And that's
highly recommended by Vince.
Indeed.
I have two hop-off points
Okay.
before we get off of this. Number one, yes, highly recommended by Vince. I'd like to point out a big success for Vince. If you don't know Vince came to Beyond 200, showed up, told me a story about how he just moved out here. He wants to get in the industry, yada, yada, yada. Now look at it, jump ahead 8 episodes, so 8 weeks. He's a freelancer for IGN, working on that game, and now that Artornellico game.
No, not Artonelco.
No?
Different game.
Atelier.
Ghostbusters.
Totori.
No?
Totori.
All right, well,
You say
step
Toto?
number one.
No, you totally
No,
got this.
I know how
All
to
right.
say it. I'm just saying I will never
all right.
remember
Sorry.
it. All right?
Okay.
I'm not a fucking child. I hear you say it. I can
Okay,
repeat it to you.
this is the guy that butchers
York
every
too!
Japanese name I've ever heard.
I can say Shuhei now, though.
Yes, you can. You do it really well.
Yeah. Pro tip. That was number one. I'm going to get to number two.
Oh, yeah.
Quick aside, too. Shuhei, I'm sure you're listening. When we were walking to interview that time, Ryan had to keep quizzing me on how to say your name because I would have screwed up. I was so terrified that I was going to screw it up.
No, you did great.
And then number two, I've lost. Oh, Resistance Spoiler Cast. In it, we said send in your video of you doing this Chimera dance from this YouTube thing we embedded in the article. We're getting them. Your entries are being received, but we want to give that a little bit of long lead time, seeing as how the spoiler cast is meant to be set aside and listened to later. So it's not fair to just give it away, next week in case you haven't.
Give it away now.
First off, Mauricio.
So yeah, well, we still have the shirts to give away, the posters, all that good stuff. So
I want one of those shirts too.
Okay, well,
Marcus Smith sent me a shirt.
Well, we can
He'll never hear this.
So he listens to the podcast.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Right now, all right, we're testing him right now.
Okay.
Marcus Smith, are you listening? I would like an extra large Resistance 3 T-shirt, the orangish ones you got there.
Okay.
You are not allowed to tell him, Colin.
Okay.
Sony PR, you are not allowed to. Shuhei, don't, and nobody does anything.
He does listen to the podcast.
All right, well, we're about to see, aren't we?
Yes.
Can he, if he can't give you a shirt, can he at least email
Oh, he can
you
acknowledge
saying,
that he heard it. You get
All right.
nothing.
Got it.
Fatty.
You get nothing and like it.
I don't think he would call you fat. That's kind of
He
mean.
would.
He seems like a nice guy.
He's a great guy.
Digital downloads.
Yeah, what came on the PSNs? What did Jeff Rubinstein?
Double D. What's up? Digital downloads. Oh, let's check out those double Ds, huh?
I like that. That's
Boing.
My girlfriend's gonna kill me. All right. So downloadable games.
Yes.
By the way, man, that PSN update. Remember that day? That was fun. Woo, I don't know how Colin does it.
It's so
when
easy.
we put up the PSN update stories, that Colin always puts those together. I did it this week because Colin was traveling and I almost killed myself. I was like,
fun.
how does he do it?
A lot of HTML code.
I know.
I'm just used to it.
It's like, and that's like with
Once
the
you
top
get used to
25.
it.
Yeah, I can do a top 25 list. Nobody's business, but
Yeah.
coding is just a bitch. I hate it.
It was actually, I would say it was a pretty hefty update this week.
It
we
was.
had Rochard, which Colin really dug. I also was a fan, although I haven't played the full version yet. I only played it for preview. Resident Evil Code Veronica X HD, which I believe Richard
Rich
George says has not aged very well.
No.
So probably don't spend your $20 on that. Castlevania Harmony of Despair. What do you say about that, Colin? $14.99 for multiplayer Castlevania on the PSN. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I downloaded it, I installed it, I just don't have time to play it.
All right.
So I don't have an opinion. I mean, I am really excited about that game, but boy, is this a bad time to be releasing games. Yes?
Yes. Mercury HG.
I'll review that.
Okay.
So Mercury. Early PSP adopters will remember Mercury and Mercury Meltdown. Those are early PSP games, and
Is
this
this
is
like a
basically
blend?
this is like an HD
Yeah.
version of the game.
And also, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 12 was also released on the PSN store. Then for game demos, we have a demo for Mercury and Rochard if you want to check those out.
Just buy Richard. Do you want to buy
Yeah,
Richard?
Yeah,
all right,
Rochard's
buy
awesome.
Buy Rochard.
It's
then
$10 too.
Add-on game content. We have Dead Nation Road
Yeah!
of Devastation.
I'm gonna start playing that this afternoon.
We have a little bit of Fallout New Vegas content.
Yeah.
Courier's Stash, and Gunrunner's Arsenal.
Oh yeah, that's
for
the stuff that you got if you pre-ordered the game.
variety of prices. There's some No More Heroes content. There's some Totally content already. Man, I gotta say, NISA, they love releasing DLC.
Oh yeah,
They
for
love DLC.
Hyper Dimension Neptunia, it was like outrageous.
It was outrageous, but more power to them if that's what they want to do. Let's see, and then let me just flip through a few more pages here. We also have, Arcade Sports Minis bundle for the PlayStation Portable for $2.99. There's that if you guys are down with Arcade Sports Mini bundles, and then the Patapon 3 mission pack, which is free. Interesting.
More missions for Patapon 3. What's not to like, kids?
Shall we do our minis?
Yes.
All
Our
right,
favorite.
so
Jeff Rubenstein and the Misses. What
the
have they cranked out?
House of Rubenstein has produced these fine minis: Jelly Pops for $3.99,
Of course.
Galcon Labs for $2.99, and Revoltin Youth for $1.99. Nothing too crazy naming wise
Revolting
there.
Youth, that sounds familiar.
Wait,
Why
so-
does that sound familiar?
Yeah, that sounds
How
familiar.
Badger, Cole, and Kamiko rid their town of Bigwig and his army of evil, bad verticing robots.
Who put it out? Does it have the developer there?
Verticing? Verticing? I don't even know what that word is.
Okay.
What is this word?
Oh,
Bad.
let's see. Hold on.
Right at the bottom there.
Evil. Oh yeah. You see, you're thinking too hard here. I'll read
okay.
it. How Badger, Cole, and Kamiko rid their town of Bigwig and his army of evil badvertising. Advertising robots.
Badvertising.
Revolting Youth. That sounds very familiar. I think that might be a Patty Murphy joint. I forget.
Can I actually kind of want to read the Jelly Pops description.
Please read the
also.
Jelly Pops description.
Here's the Jelly Pops description. You control a strange snake, which resides in a strange pond in a strange world with some strange rules.
Love these descriptions.
The aim is to stay alive as long as possible by collecting life force gems. With time, life force gems become more and more scarce, resulting in a desperate race to reach the next one before it's lights out. So
A
that's
strange
that's
snake
Jelly
in a
Pop.
strange pond.
Very
good.
Strange world with some strange
Listeners,
rules.
you know that we're a conversational podcast here at Podcast Beyond, and when you want to be a part of the show, you need to email us at beyond@ign.com, just like Iceman Wall did. Iceman Wall knows that when we read these funny minis, we love it to get a good mini reader review, because God knows we don't have the time to go through and pay $5 at a pop to play these Jeff Rubenstein joints.
Right.
I think this is our first ever super positive mini review.
Oh, okay.
Iceman Wall has reviewed Edge, a game we mocked last week because it had a ridiculous...
We didn't actually mock the game. We were just teasing
It had
the
a
description.
ridiculous description, yeah, of like exponential questions. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Iceman Wall gives it a 9 out of 10.
Ooh, hi.
This is his review. Edge, the game that should be... Edge is the game that should be on your console. Better than Uncharted 2? No. But it's still pretty amazing. And if any game deserves a soundtrack, it's this one. You'll have the infectious rhythm stuck in your head all day. And you'll be dying to get the cube onto the rainbow square.
Well,
You'll be dying to get the cube to the rainbow square. I am dying to know more about the rainbow square.
that
I've been
sounds
trying
like
to get
a
there
riddle.
forever.
you know what? And by the way, guys, was that the end of the review?
Iceman Wall reports, also, I just got on PSN and have no friends. Can I be hit of the week? Of course you can.
PSN it confirmed.
That's Iceman Wall, all one word. Easy.
I do want to point something out because I would like to think that the Podcast Beyond family, we play fair, we love everyone in the industry, and generally speaking, we want to have a good time. Am I correct in all this? Can I speak for all
I
of us
love
on
having
that?
a good time.
You don't like people in the industry?
No, I'm saying that. Out of everything you said, I don't like that Marcus Smith
And I
character.
want to say, guys, let me officially go on the record and say I am not officially and genuinely insulting the writer that produced these descriptions, because I have had to, in a deadline, throw together very basic and goofy descriptions for things too. We are just teasing because I know how it goes, and
I mean, read the sentences. They're ridiculous.
well, I know, but
We're not making fun of the writer at all. We're making fun. We're having fun with the
making fun of
content.
his sentences.
I basically, if someone at Sony knows or is the writer for these descriptions, I wouldn't want them to be offended by us teasing their writing. We're just having a good time.
If you're writing those and thinking, if I'm the writer of those,
Right.
I'm a strange snake in a strange pond or whatever.
In a strange world with strange rules, bro.
Come on, like they're in on the joke.
You gotta have fun.
They're in on the joke.
Strange
of what
to the fourth.
And those probably come from the developer, wouldn't they? Like a little.
Maybe.
When you
I
submit
kinda-
it, here's your description. Kind of like when we put our podcast into iTunes, we put a little description in
Yeah,
it.
which by the way, yeah, you guys are more than welcome to make fun. Like I just go crazy with those descriptions. So yeah, it's just it's all in good fun. It's all in good. That's all I wanted to say.
Agreed.
So we have a good time.
Agreed. I would say pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Jelly pops.
Rochard.
Get jelly pop.
Maybe Team Eco?
Yeah, well, Team Eco for sure. If that's what you're looking for, if you want some classic PS2 games up in this piece.
The highest scoring one is FIFA, right?
Yes.
Sure,
Yeah.
but you know,
I'm not.
none of us-
I'm not. Yeah. I don't.
Hey, do you like soccer? Well, there you go. Buy that.
Yep.
Whatever.
All right.
I do have to champion Rochard. It's just
Rochard's a great game.
It's
Yeah.
really good. Also, just kind of as an aside, I've been messing more with my iPad lately. As long-time listeners know, we really love the game Mushroom Wars on PlayStation Network, and that's a really good strategy game. And it was number 25 on our PSN list, I believe, our top 25 PSN
Sounds
games.
about right.
There's a game on iOS I downloaded on my iPad when I was in Vegas called Land Grabbers, which is basically a carbon copy of Mushroom Wars, but even deeper and longer. And so I just wanted to kind of throw a recommendation out for that game because it's actually really fun. Good way to waste some time if you're into Mushroom Wars.
What's that? Give me that title one more time.
Land Grabbers.
Land grabbers. I think it said land grabbers, and I was picturing like a bunch of computer guys.
Oh,
like
like
just grabbing
LAN?
land
Yeah,
cords.
okay.
Bandwidth. We were talking about that on the car ride today.
Yeah, bandwidth.
Bandwidth's being stolen out of the internet left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
Can't
Man, the
deal with
tubes
that.
and pipes,
The
pumping all that
transistors and the vacuum
information.
tubes.
Colin,
Yes.
what do you say we climb on this hayride called life and answer some reader questions?
Yes, let's do that.
Reader mail!
Maelstrom.
Mail call.
Melko. Greg, I would like to point out, I'm in no hurry because I had a Cliff Bar before the before
I'm
we
starving.
start. But we have been recording for an hour.
I'm planning on getting a chicken sandwich, but I drew a little hamburger because I can't. It's harder to draw.
Chicken
sandwiches.
sandwich?
Chicken sandwich.
Where are you
is
going to get
harder
the
draw.
chicken sandwich?
Pete's, of course. Get
Pete's, oh, okay.
Slam some sauce on it.
dear.
Why are you making faces? What,
No,
you
I
love
mean,
Pete's.
like yeah, I would totally come with you, except I still have that food in the fridge that I should use.
I'm going to go to Subway.
Yeah.
Eat fresh.
Did-
I got
are you just,
myriad
you were
things
just
to
gonna
do.
go to Pete's by yourself?
No, I have a date with Stephen Hopper. You're
Oh,
welcome
okay.
to join us. It's an open date.
Okay,
We can get down on a party.
Well, we'll see. I should
Alright.
probably finish off my food so I don't waste my money.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
And we have leftover pizza in the fridge too. If you want that for lunch.
Oh, sweet biz.
Sweet biz.
Kyle writes in with quick fire questions. Colin, if you could pick the direction for the next Resistance game, where would you go with it?
Chimera and Homeworld.
Why?
You want to see it so
Yeah,
bad.
and we need more answers. I mean, we went over this in the Resistance 3 spoiler cast. We need more answers. We need to see the pure Chimera. We need to see their intent and why this is all happening. Remember that through 3 Resistance games and Retribution, we have not seen a real Chimera. So,
Only the infected.
yep.
Ryan,
Yes.
you'll have to confirm this one for me.
Okay.
Dissidia has been announced for the Vita.
Okay.
Is that true?
If it has, I'm gonna shit my pants and run out of this room. Right
Yeah,
After
now.
you
haven't
stop
seen that.
dancing, what would you like them to
Oh.
change for future installments?
I think it's a hypothetical.
Oh, that's a hypothetical. Okay, so if it is, because I have not seen that,
It's-
I would
it's
have
not.
heard
That
that.
makes
not.
sense because we
I
would have
would've
heard about
heard
that. You would have heard about
Wait,
not
so
me.
what's the actual question? After I stop dancing, what do I do?
What would you like to see them change in future
Oh,
installments?
change. Oh man. The world map system was a cool idea, but it could have been executed better because Duodecim kind of created like an actual Dukakam. They put like a world map in there so you could actually like travel around the world and whatnot. And I would say that just needed refinement because it was a little monotonous. It didn't quite feel the way it should.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, that game is like practically perfect. Oh my god.
Greg, all the new 52 number ones are out. What are you happy with, disappointed by, and surprised by? I was surprised that I like Superboy number one so much because it was a departure on my favorite character, and now he's kind of evil, and we don't know what's going on there. I was disappointed that so many stories are taking so long to get going. I mean, I didn't expect to be thrown right in the mix, but I just read Teen Titans last night, and it's kind of a prequel to the Superboy story. I was like,
Teen
all right.
Titans.
Yeah. And then what are you happy with? I'm happy with the launch overall. There's a lot of concern coming in. Was this going to suck? Would this screw up a lot of stuff? I'm enjoying it. I also enjoyed Catwoman. I know that was very. It's a very. What do you call it? Not decisive. Diversive. What's
Divisive.
divisive? Thank you. Divisive internet.
Is that a word?
Divisive? Yeah.
Divisive?
Yeah.
I've never
It's
heard that.
divided the internet. I'm gonna say
It's the-
the
yeah.
Catwoman. If it's too sexual, if it's taking advantage of the character, yada yada yada. I really enjoyed that book. Catwoman's always just been a crazy cat burglar, so whatever. I thought it worked. AP Stevens writes in, He says, wanted to know, when is IGN going to set up the PS Vita specific tab on the site?
AP Stevens?
Yeah, AP Stevens.
Sounds like a Civil War general. I'm feeling that.
Maybe, yeah. I'm feeling that. AP, we have engineers working night and day. Top men working to get that PlayStation Vita tab up and running.
It's coming.
So, yeah, sooner than later. Sooner rather than later.
Colonel AP Stevens, hold the line.
I can't think of like a time I've been more excited about a platform launch.
Than Vita? Yeah, that's
I'm super excited. I was really excited about PS3 until I saw that price.
Jason A. Daz, longtime listener, writes into beyond at IGN.com. He says, Colin, with Sony adopting the new catchphrase this holiday, long live play, will you change your name from He Only Does Everything? It would make an interesting IGN poll.
Who said that then?
Jason A. Daz.
It's not
Justin?
Justin?
The Das. Jason and Justin are brothers.
Oh, whoa.
Both on my friends list.
Crazy.
Hockey fans. Good dudes.
What's up?
We go back a ways.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to change my name.
Yeah. I mean, if you remember, Sony got away from Beyond a long time ago. Is their play Beyond.
We're still working on it.
Yeah, and the only reason Colin changed his name is because he changed positions. Exactly. He went from being the guide's guru to being the PlayStation team.
Indeed. And it reminds me of, I don't know why it reminds me of this, but you guys know the metal band Anthrax?
Of course. Who doesn't?
After 9/11, after 9/11, they were being pressed to change their name. Because the
terrorists would have
won. Yeah. And they wore jumpsuits on stage. There's 5 of them, and they each one said like, we won't change our name or whatever on their jumpsuits or whatever, because they didn't want to change it, even though the times had changed. Well, the times have changed with PlayStation, and it's no longer it only does everything, but I will not change my name.
Colin continues to do everything, so you don't have to worry.
Indeed.
He does cross
What's the new is play
long live play. Long
live play.
Yeah.
It's one word, or is it periods in between each word?
I've always seen it as like a sentence. Long live play.
Long live play, and that's their new campaign.
Yes,
I like it
because it doesn't do everything anymore.
Right, it doesn't.
It really never did, to be honest.
Yeah, it really didn't.
Chris writes in, Colin, do you think sales of Resistance 3 were hindered by releasing on the same day as Dead Island, a game which has seemingly sold far better thus far? Will the series recover from this?
Well, Dead Island is on 3 platforms. But no, I don't think Resistance 3 was hindered by that. No, I think that people that were interested in Resistance bought it. Resistance 2 sold extremely well, so I don't know. Like the first week, it sold almost 500,000 copies. So I don't know how well Resistance 3 did. I haven't seen any firm numbers. And remember that the only numbers that count, by the way, in gaming industry, people don't make them up. That they're released officially every month by MPD. So those are the only numbers that really count. If you're seeing numbers that aren't released by them and they weren't released by the company themselves, then they're dubious. Yeah. So we'll wait and see the official numbers.
And also, you have to always be careful, because oftentimes we'll get numbers of these have shipped. Like we've shipped
for
500,000, which is very different from sold.
Right.
You can ship as many as you want. That doesn't mean they're being purchased.
To be fair, there's always a caveat with that too, which is that a company, wouldn't. A company, GameStop's a smart company, for instance. They would not order 1 million units of a game if they didn't think they were going to sell them. So you can basically rest assured those games are going to be sold through, but they aren't yet.
Right.
That's what
you just have to keep it in mind.
Indeed.
Chris continues. Greg, with the news that Gears of War 3 sold 3 million copies in its first week, what do you think your chances are in the steak dinner bet with Jim Riley, a.k.a. Infoboy? Does Uncharted 3 stand a chance of selling even close to this number in its first month in a very busy November? Well, Chris, remember, it's not just Uncharted 3. Jim Riley and I have a bet that every Sony exclusive from this year, numbers combined, would not sell more than Gears of War. He said that's the argument. I say it'll beat Gears of War. He says it will not. It's looking bad for me. 3 million's a lot.
Also, Infoboy doesn't work at IGN anymore. I'm just throwing it out there right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we haven't talked about that, but yeah, he doesn't. He's not here anymore.
I'm just letting people know. They still get emails. We don't want people to think Jim is ignoring Podcast Be Honest.
His last show he was on, he said this is the last time I'll ever be on the show.
Yeah, well,
and he meant it.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, that's how that came to be. So now he says he's going to take. He wants to stake at GDC. So I will have photos when that happens. Ryan!
Yes.
How much longer can we expect to hear your sultry tones on Podcast Unlock with all the reorganization going on?
Oh, yes, that's right. So we were just having meetings about this. It's not, we don't have official plans for what's going to happen to the show. It might go under modification. We might change up the hosts and whatnot. Now that Stephen Hopper, who's the newest editor at IGN, he's the executive editor on the 360 channel. He's probably going to take it over in some capacity, and I will help with the transition. I might be on as a guest now and then, but it's sort of the same as it's always been. I mean, I'll help out when they need it, but I was always more of a what are they called? Like the knights that hold down the castle in the meantime when the king's gone or something.
There's a name for that?
Vice President, Secretary of State.
there's like a. It's not a herald. It's a
Mercenary.
No, there's a word I'm thinking of where it's sort of the keepers of the house when
Squire.
the royal line has like temporarily
Queen.
been
Champion.
been broken.
Prince.
No, you guys are killing me here. These
Dire
are not,
wolf.
No, dire wolf. There's a word. It's the in the
I know-
Lord
I
of the
kinda know what
Rings.
you're talking
In Lord of the
about,
Rings,
yeah.
there was like a temporary. No, oh my God, Greg, you're killing me.
Strider.
Gollum.
Remember in the third movie how there was the creepy dude that wanted to burn everyone alive when the House of Gondor or whatever or something.
Ganondorf.
No, not Ganondorf.
Ganondorf?
That was not even close. That's a Zelda thing. That's not
Triforce.
That's not. Oh my God! All right.
We don't know is the answer.
It actually reminded me most of the presidential transition team, which, the election happens in November, but the president isn't sworn in until January. So there's a little mixture of people there.
There you go.
Getting everything organized, and maybe this is kind of like that.
Can someone email me at beyond@ign.com the people that hold the house until the royal line is continued?
Gotcha.
You probably the word is somewhere in Lord of the Rings
like a
movie.
regent?
Regent might be it, but it's something else. There's like another word for it.
Okay.
Andre writes into beyond@ign.com. He says,
Is it
"What's
Andre
up,
Seegers?
guys?" I doubt it.
All right.
What's up, guys?
I doubt it.
I was wondering, do you guys think Sony will ever let us change our gamer tags, even for a fee? What do you guys think about starting a petition? I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who would like to keep their trophies and just change their accounts in general.
I feel like that's inevitable, but
You think so?
Yeah, I can't imagine a situation where we're 5 years removed from people making their PSN names. Some people, and they're just gonna make you keep it. Like I honestly feel like it's gonna happen when Vita comes out.
Think it's a PlayStation Plus thing? Maybe?
Probably.
I mean, I doubt it because where's cross game chat? Where's all this other stuff?
Yeah, but this is easy, and as far as I
We
know,
thought
Is it-
cross game chat was
Dude,
easy.
You can't change your security question on the PSN.
As far as I understand it, and someone can write into beyond@ign.com and correct me if I'm wrong, you can already change your name in Japan. So it's
You know
it's something that's possible. I just can't imagine that, with Vita coming out and then PS4 coming out in several years or whatever, that they're just going to make you transcend these systems with a name you made when you were like 8 years old or something like that. It can't.
Cool guy 175. Oh my
we
God!
hear
if
this
there's
we hear this all the time, and Sony has that website where you can vote up the problems.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest ones is to change your name.
PlayStation Share, PlayStation Blog Share.
My bet is it's going to happen when Vita comes out, because that's the first system where you're going to take your name from your PS3 and put it on another system, and people are like, I don't want to be cool guy 134 anymore.
175.
I'm sorry, 175.
If there's a cool guy 175 listening, email us, or just you guys should send PSN messages to cool guy 175. Be like, how's your name doing, bro?
Here's
Just send that.
the real thing,
All right.
Andre and everybody else out there. Shut up. All right, you've been coddled your entire life by the society we live in. It's time everybody wakes up. Hey, wake up! There are consequences to your actions. All right, think about what you're doing before you do it. Walter Lopez, I can't even say his. Walter has a name on PSN that he tries to keep private, and it's related to poop. I delete him after every time I use him for something. I don't want that on my list. You're a joke, Lopez. All right. Think about it, Andre. Kids out there, don't just go get a tattoo and then go, oh man, I don't like this tattoo 8 years later. Too bad. I like being game over, Greggy. I like having an imprint. I like having a call sign.
I mean, that's why you will never see me have a username that has a number in it, because I think that you've automatically given up on the creativity of your username. I always have. I think the last time I had an email, something with a number in it, was in a Yahoo email address that I had the number 2000 in mine for some reason, because I thought 2000 was really cool.
2000's a cool year.
At that point.
I used to throw 311 at the end of everything.
But that's like, that has meaning to you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not the people that are like 8765309, bro.
8765309.
Just making fun of Hillary now.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's basically Hillary's screen name. Okay.
All right, Joshua writes in with he gets the honor of being our final question of the week.
Okay.
Joshua here wrote into beyond@ign.com. I'm with Colin. Never went to any dance while I was in high school. Even worse, never had a date or a girlfriend while I was in high school.
That's
That's
problematic.
okay. No.
Expand this topic on
okay.
podcast 208. This is this one, right? Yeah. Who had the least social life in high school?
Oh, this is
Joshua.
a fun question. I want to hear about this. It's probably me.
Okay.
So how do we? So the
Yeah, I don't know
the
what-
first thing
I
is,
don't
what
know.
are the
I don't know.
parameters?
I
Like
don't
how many
know.
girlfriends we've had?
I don't know.
In high
I
school?
think it's just general.
Well, did you have a girlfriend in high school?
Yes, several.
Okay, I had a friend in high school. You had a girlfriend in high school?
I had 3 girlfriends in high
There you
school.
go. Well,
All right.
I only had like, I'll say 2. I'll be
2.
generous.
Okay, got it. 2. So I guess it
Oh,
depends
no,
on
3.
official
Oh, yeah,
girlfriends
score.
or dating someone like for set period of time.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So I had a girlfriend. I'll explain. You can tell me. All right.
All right, yeah.
I had a girlfriend in 10th grade.
Okay.
I had a girlfriend the summer after 10th grade.
Got it.
And then I had a girlfriend.
That first one lasted a long time.
Yeah. And then I had a girlfriend from the beginning of 11th grade to when we graduated.
Okay.
So
those all count.
yeah,
Those all
I think
sound
the
great.
last one is like the first meaningful relationship I ever had.
Okay,
you know?
got it.
But the other two count.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
so-
So let's see. I had. I'll count. I don't want to say that. I guess if I said their first names, that probably wouldn't. Really,
Why didn't you say their names?
What's that?
Why didn't you say their names?
Because I
at all?
was gonna name.
No, just name them one. Girl number one. Girl number
All
two.
right. So there
No,
was.
give the full names and addresses.
No, it's okay.
Facebook.
And where they live.
Well, they're all
alright,
from
so-
Buffalo, New York area.
Wow.
Oh, actually, so no.
You're going, look at you.
No, just in high school, 4. I dated 4 different girls.
Wow.
In high school.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
But some of them were extremely brief and dumb relationships.
Well, every relationship in high school is dumb.
It was. Well, I had one that was actually pretty. It was a good learning experience and fairly long for a high school relationship. It lasted for like a little over a year, and I'd say that
That's
was
a long
pretty
time.
good
Yeah.
for a high school relationship. Yeah.
I couldn't. The girlfriend
Learned
I had.
a lot.
The girlfriend I had. The second half of my high school career, I played hockey most of my life, and I played for my high school team. And she was a figure skater.
Oh, awesome!
And
Nice.
I just met her there, and she went to like another school and everything. And we just totally like got together and hit it off, whatever.
Did she ever have to play in your team?
No, she like
Mighty Ducks?
yeah, like the Mighty Ducks. No, she didn't have to play on my team. We probably could have used her help. Yeah, so
You probably could have used her help.
I still talk to her every once in a while.
Cool.
But yeah, and socially, I mean, I just had my, I was kind of, under the radar. I think I had my group of friends. They were gamers and nerds, and I was friends with a few, athletes from hockey and stuff like that. And but the guys I want to give a shout out to, I guess, first of all, my best friend in the world is Mike Pope, and I'm still totally best friends with that dude. And we grew up, near each other. We live across the street from each other. Our
Does he listen to the show?
No, he doesn't. Our parents still live across the street from each other. I love him. I love his family. So he was always my boy and stuff. And then my friends Cody and Corey, we used to play games together. Corey especially is a huge gamer still, and we talk every once in a while. So those were the guys I hung out with. And then you kind of work the girls in there, and then you work the friends of the girls in there, and you have a kind of a little group and things of this nature. But it was so long ago now.
Greg is drawing the Batman.
I drew the Batman symbol. I doodle. I'm a
was
doodler
good, it was good.
while I beyond.
By the way, my 10th anniversary or the 10-year reunion of my high school, I think is next year.
Oh, mine just
shit.
passed.
Really?
Did
I'm
you
not
go?
going. I'm not going to go.
I
you
went
didn't
to
go?
Oklahoma. I went and watched Mizzou play. Fuck high school. High school sucked.
I really liked high school. And I actually was going to say for social life, I think I had a really healthy social life. I wasn't like tremendously popular, go figure, until senior year of high school, where I became universally known as like, oh, he's a nice, normal dude. And like most people, I mean, I'm still quirky, but like, most people recognize me as like, oh, he's a nice guy. And most people, in my class knew who I was at the very least. But I had a bunch of really great friends in high school. I had a really good time.
Yeah.
Except at the beginning, it was a little rocky. I think as everyone's high
Oh yeah,
school
ninth
career.
grade is rough.
It's always rough.
What-
Hang in there, high school.
Go
listeners.
get him, Joshua.
Go get him.
What
You'll get a girlfriend, maybe.
It sounds like your experience wasn't. Tell me about it.
What about it?
You just didn't see. You just kind of.
Yeah, you were
I mean,
like,
I don't want to go.
Teachers,
I don't
really
want to go
dumb
back
teachers
there. I
who
don't
were
want to
like
go back.
really immature and like got drugged down into high school bullshit. So it was like I was being taught by a fucking person that was in the high school. I was popular enough. I won a bunch of class clown stuff.
Were you the
at end,
homecoming
crap
king?
Like that. No, not that.
All
Not
right.
that popular. I guess.
All right.
Sorry. I did the drama stuff and I did the newspaper stuff.
Oh, you did drama in high
did
school.
do
Oh,
drama
cool.
stuff,
What did you do?
Plays and musicals.
Okay, like I kind of wanted specific. Like,
Oh,
were you the guy
I-
holding up the lights,
No,
or were
I
you
was
in
an
like
act- I was
on the stage?
I had to shine.
Hold this a guy holding up the lights. I don't think that's how that works.
All right, we did.
know what
We
I
did.
mean.
You 30 are holding up lights. This production. There's like melting up there. Just holding these lights.
Guys, this is really heavy. All right,
All right, yeah.
cool.
So yeah, we were all popular. Sorry,
Yeah.
Joshua, you're alone on this one.
No, are you kidding? We've all had hard times in high.
Well, yeah, high school's awkward.
yeah.
It is awkward,
The
and
problem-
it's completely meaningless.
The problem
Burn
with high
bridges.
school is that people are sort of afraid to be themselves, and I think that's the time that people most try to conform.
Yes.
I remember going shopping for clothing, and I'm not afraid to admit, my mom always helped me with buying my clothes because I didn't have any idea what I was doing in high school, and so she would be like, well, let's get you some like cool shit over here, and I was like, I just want plain colors with no patterns. I don't want to stand out. I want to blend into the ground. And,
Jesus.
so I would get like there's a plain blue shirt. I'll get that blue shirt and I'll wear it, and it will be fine.
Man, school shopping, wasn't that fun? My dad would like drag me to the mall and be like, all right, let's go. Go get your Airwalks and your fucking T-shirts.
I wore uniforms until college, so I didn't have to worry about it.
See, I almost think that would have been the better way to go, man.
I expressed myself through Superman and wrestling ties. That's what I wore.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. So you were probably a cool kid in high school.
No, I was a huge nerd.
We would have been friends.
I was a cool nerd. Oh, yeah, we'd be friends.
Would you wear your payday the heist tie?
I would have worn my payday. The payday the heist tie that I have, I would have worn to.
Very cool.
Yeah, I encourage everyone that's like either in high school or younger. We have some younger listeners. Just like don't be like worried that life is always going to be as awkward and uncomfortable as high school.
Yeah,
because
don't sweat it.
Most of the time in college, people then all want to express themselves and be their own individuals, and that's when things get a lot better.
Shit gets real in college.
Shit gets real.
God, college was awesome. I think about college every day,
but it's not really real life. College is a completely sheltered existence.
Yeah, but it's awesome. College was. I loved college.
College is great.
I loved college. Yeah. Like, oh my, what a shit show. Just for 4 years.
Yeah.
No, constant shit show.
No repercussions for any of your actions. Just whatever you want. You're just off at least.
No, you have to study hard.
I did study hard.
Yes. Colin played, worked hard and played hard. I did. Say it. I did mostly working hard, and I only played hard like towards the end.
I played hard every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Podcast Beyond. For some reason, the #1 PlayStation podcast on the internet. If you'd like to be part of the show, please email us at beyond@ign.com. Remember that this is a product of IGN.com. It's a website, so you should put down your Zunes and your iPads and your Walkman and go over there and go to the internet.
Your
and
Apple
go to
Newton.
IGN.com. Read some of our awesome articles. If you want to follow us for other hijinks, you can follow IGN at IGN. This is on Twitter, of course. IGN. You can follow me at Game Over Greggy. Ryan is at Puam Cider. Colin is at No Taxation. Colin Campbell is at something, but when he actually shows up on the show, he can pimp himself. I'm not going to do it. Even though I just started a new podcast with the guy who wrote Book of Eli, so you should listen to that on IGN.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Colin Campbell?
The Games Business podcast.
Colin Campbell started
they had a podcast called Game Theory, which I wasn't familiar with.
Oh, okay.
And they brought it over to IGN now, and it's Game Business
with the guy that wrote
Gary Whittaker.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so
cool little combo.
They use this room. They're up in this room.
Yeah, now that I remember, he came up to me. He's like, Ryan, where is the podcast room? And I was like, it's over there. Let me show you. It's so horrible.
Can you tell me? Did you ever tell the story about the six-pack?
No, I feel like I shouldn't say that one.
Really? Wait. That's a good tease for next week. Come back to Podcast Beyond episode 209.
I'll let him. I mean, I'll get his approval first.
Okay.
It was Colin Campbell doing some self-deprecating humor, which I love, and I always respect people that are willing to tease themselves. But I'll let him do that.
All right.
Also, wait, can I do? I have to do my giveaway. I know we're kind of running low on time here. Is that all right?
No such thing.
You can't just do it, huh?
What?
Ryan, take us home.
Yeah, but I'm saying the giveaway.
Once I say that, you can do whatever you want.
Oh, okay, cool.
You can fart in the mic for 20 minutes. I don't care.
For 20 minutes?
This
is a long one, guys.
Bare ass fart in the microphone. Right on it.
I just can't stop.
#1 PlayStation podcast.
All right. Guys, as indicated by a video that Damon and I recorded either yesterday or the day before, I've already lost track of all perceptions of time. We got in a couple Final Fantasy 13-2 posters, which are actually really nice. It has Sarah and Lightning from Final Fantasy 13-2 on the poster. It's cool. It's actually from the Japanese release poster, so it's really nice. They are mildly damaged on the top, not from my fault. That was just how they were packaged. It was a shipping accident. But I have 3 of them, and I'd love to give away 2, if not all 3. I don't think we really need one for the IGN office, so I'd like to give them away. And Colin, how, as the #1 Final Fantasy 13 advocate at IGN, how should I give these posters? I don't know.
I want you to make them write Porum and Palom fan fiction.
Yeah. All right. Porum and Palom, and email it to beyond@ign.com.
All right. Here's the thing.
All right.
We know what happens to Porum and Palom after Final Fantasy 4 because of the after years and stuff like that. But we don't know how they were raised. What was going on in Mysidia and stuff like that.
What they're their childhood.
500 words on what Poor
500?
500 words
For the poster.
Yeah.
So this is how they get the... So a word count of 500 or less.
about what was going on in that town with Poor Pelham before,
When they were younger.
Yeah, before Cecil walked in there. That fateful
500
day.
words is a lot of words.
Not really.
Yeah,
It's
for an email, you're going to...
250 words.
You got it. All right, 250. I like that
Okay.
better. And you have to help me sort through that. I can't go through all that myself.
That's fine.
So we'll pick the best fan fiction of Poor Pelham's childhood years from Final Fantasy IV. Email us, send one to beyond@ign.com, and you can win a free Final Fantasy 13 poster. This is only for Beyond listeners in the United States. Continental United States.
We finally
age
remembered.
18 or older. I'm sorry for anyone that doesn't qualify, but that's just how we have to do it. As we have said many times, we still
Don't
love
plagiarize someone else's fan fiction of Colin Powell, okay?
Colin Powell. Colin Powell. From the great state of Robot.
From Robot.
I said Colin Powell.
I said Colin Powell.
It's funny.
That would have been funnier. Colin Powell fan fiction would be fucking awesome, though.
You can send that in too. Colin Powell. Those are two good names. They fit well together. Cole and Powell. Yeah, I like it. All right. All right, this is from... We're going to end the show as we always do with a song. If you would like to be featured on Podcast Beyond's musical selections, send a song with an MP3 attachment to beyond@ign.com, just like Eric did. Eric writes, Beyond, hey guys, what's up? I've been a huge fan of the show for about a year now, but I have yet to write in. Although I don't have a question to ask just yet, it would mean a lot to me if you played this song I came up with at the end of the podcast. I like to tinker around with music as a hobby, and I'd really like to expose more people to what I have created. Anyways, keep up the amazing work, and I look forward to many more hilarious Beyond moments to come in the future. Thanks again, Beyond. P.S. Colin, quote, can't nobody do it like 311 fucking up competition because there really is none, end quote. The irony of this lyrics is that I don't even think 311 can compete with themselves anymore.
That's deep. That's deep. That's true.
Mauricio approves.
Beyond, this is from Eric. Eric sends us a song called Hands.
I hope it's rap rock.
It's not rap rock.
Oh, okay.
Beyond.
Beyond.
Wave 'em like you just don't care.